In today's video, I'm going to be changing out a fuel pump on a 1998 F-150. Coming up next. Hey everybody, Rudy here from Take a Bath Productions. Today we're going to be changing out a fuel pump on this 1998 F-150. Happens to be my truck, and this is a unique opportunity for me to explain what Take a Bath Productions actually means. If you're familiar with the term take a bath, it's when something bad happens in your life. It's an old term that they used to use. When they would lose lots of money, they would take a bath. That explains the picture of my brother throwing money out of the bathtub. Well, this is one of those occasions where we're taking a bath today, trying to fix my own truck. Okay, so that's what Take a Bath Productions actually means, in case anybody was wondering. Anyway, enough about that. Let me get started on showing you what I've done so far. Pulled out the bed liner, and it's real easy to do that. I just took the hooks out. There's 2 bolts on each hook in each corner, and what I did was I took some bolts. There's a hole in the middle that's probably 5/8 diameter. So I stuck some 1/2-inch bolts in there with chains in between. I'm going to lift the bed off the truck. Okay, I've taken these 6 bolts out of the middle of the bed. There's 3 on each side. The Torx bit is a T50. Some free advice, don't use an impact on those. Mine were very tight. And when I put them back, I'm going to use anti-seize lubrication on there because the rust got to the bottom of them and I just barely got them off of there. But don't use an impact. An impact will blow the teeth out of the socket you're trying to use, and then it's another trip to the parts store. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Unless you have 2 of them, then feel free. Use an impact. It might work. Mine didn't work. Anyway, after you get the 6 bolts out, there's an electrical connection to the truck on this side of the bumper. You got to undo that, and also you got to pull these lights out of the bumper. Okay? And that's about it for the electrical. One other thing you got to do when you pull the bed off of here, if you're going to do it this way, take the gas cap off, and there's 3 bolts in here, 7mm. Take those out because this neck is sticking up out of the gas tank. And if you try to lift the bed off with that connected, you'll rip it out of the gas tank. All right. Now, of course, there is another way you could do this. I don't recommend it, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway in case you don't want to go through all this. Yeah, the other way I was telling you about, I mean, I don't recommend this. I hate when I see this, but it is an option. I just want to mention it to you. You could take a grinder and measure out exactly where the fuel pump is at, and cut the top of the bed off and pull the fuel pump out through here, and you could put a plate back there and that'll work. Put the bed liner back on and nobody will be to the wiser. But that's not what we're going to do here today. I don't want to destroy the bed of the truck, even though you could. And of course the other option is to actually unstrap the fuel tank and pull the tank out from the bottom. That's the least attractive option, if you ask me. Well, let me reset everything and try to lift this bed off of here and do it the way I was going to do it. All right, I've got everything hooked up. Got the chains going to all 4 corners, going to pull from the middle. Now, I realize, of course, that most people don't have a hoist in the middle of their garage. If you do, that's great, but if you don't have a way to do this, then you're going to need some help from some neighbors. I advise you to watch that gas tank neck when you're trying to lift this up. So kind of do it slow, and you're going to need some help if you don't have a hoist in your garage. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Of course, if it goes through the back of the truck, I'm going to cut that part out. Just slowly pick it up. It's getting loose. I stuck some cardboard up in the corners between the bed and the cab. Looked like it was wanting to scratch a little bit, so just be careful with that. I did want to mention one thing I missed. I was checking on the gas tank neck. There's a little hose clamp. If you follow the neck down, there's a hose clamp that clamps the neck in there to the body of the bed. So sorry about that. I missed that earlier. I just wanted to mention that. That's why you got to watch the whole video. There might be tips in here that I won't mention in the beginning because I'll forget. Right there where it's on the bottom of the bed where it's trying to grind on the truck. One other thing I wanted to mention, the vent for the rear end. You can stop. The vent for the rear end is also connected up there, so I'd forgot about that too, so had to take that loose. Yeah, I just wanted to show what kind of symptoms I was having. Basically, the truck would run for a few minutes and cut off and leave you stranded for about an hour, and it would come back on and do the same thing again. And hooked a pressure gauge to it, and I wanted to show you it's cold now, so it's probably going to read normal. But when I was having the problem, it was either reading 0 or about 15 psi, maybe coming up close to 20 when you were cranking. That was about it. All right, assistant, go ahead and hit the key. Just don't start it, just turn the key on. See that? It's coming up to about 20 right there. By the way, the port for the fuel rail is on the right side. It's a V6 4.2. It's on the right side of the motor, and it's underneath. See that hose I'm shaking? That's where it's screwed in. There's a Schrader valve right there. All right, go ahead and see if it'll start. See the fuel pressure came up to over 30 right there? It would not do that before. It was low. All right, just wanted to show that part. All right, we're back. First thing I would do here, even if you cut a hole in the top of the bed, same thing. If you've got a bunch of crap piled up around the tank, it's a good idea to do that so you don't wind up with all that stuff in your tank, or any of it for that matter. Get these fuel lines off. Just kind of push this clip that way, and that comes off. Same thing with that one. Now you might need a set of these. You can get these from Napa or any parts stores for fuel line and air conditioning. Just take that and shove it up in there like that, and it comes right out. There we go. Kind of set those aside for now. And this is a 8mm wrench I got here, socket. Here, that's for the sending unit and the fuel pump motor. I do want to mention, I'm only replacing the fuel pump motor. They had the whole assembly over there, but it was like $180, and the motor was about $90, so my fuel gauge works fine, so I didn't need to spend an extra $100 to get all this stuff that I already have. So kind of loosely, or lightly pry around it. I think it's loose. Yeah, it's loose. All right, welcome back. This is probably about the part you would have wished you got the whole assembly, but no, it's not that bad. You don't have to replace this fuel line, but they give you a new one, so Might as well. They even give you new hose clamps. I wish they gave you a new filter for the bottom of the pump. That's kind of stupid. They could have saved their hose clamps and gave me a new filter. There's a bolt right here. That's a 7mm. Holds this clamp on here. All right, let's get this fuel line off of here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the length of this so I can cut that hose. It's just easier for me. Take the electrical connector out carefully. So there's a little clip down in there. Here's the replacement for it that holds this filter on. Let's see if we can get that to pop out of there. Pain in the ass, that is. But you just have to work with it off of there. This is actually the second pump I've put in this truck, and the last one was only about 3 years ago. Stupid Advanced Auto Parts. What a pain that little clip is. There's just no room in there. Don't forget to hook this electrical back up or it's going to be a whole lot of sadness. Make sure it's locked in. You see how much trouble it is to get to that one, huh? Don't be afraid to use a little bit of soap when putting that on there. This line fits very tight, and that will just help you push it on there, and the soap will dry. All right, just wrapping things up. Got the hose on there. Could use a little bit of soap on that one if it's stubborn, but I don't think it's necessary because that one's a little bit easier. Will look like it to go on there. One note that is worth mentioning, my kit, I got it from Napa, happened to come with 2 of these jackets, I guess for different applications, I'm sure. See how much shorter that is? Well, that strap goes around right here, and it would be too short if I used this one. So make sure you observe that and see which one of these it takes if your kit comes with more than one like mine did. All right, both clamps are tight. Electrical's hooked up. Just gonna put that back in there. I did want to mention one thing before I do that. The kit that I bought came with about 7 or 8 different O-ring seals, and it didn't look to me like none of them was going to work. So I'm just going to reuse the factory one. It pulls through here nicely. I don't know if you can see that. Pulls through here. So anyway, there's no place for it that I saw that would work. All right, we're back. We got everything balanced out here. It's kind of hard to balance this when you're taking it off the truck because you can't really see what it's trying to do. But I got this guy here drove by, and he's one of them Hollywood types. He does some crazy stuff for some TV shows. This is my neighbor.
Ride around on some horses, shoot some guns, swing some swords. You know, the typical normal stuff.
Yeah, normal stuff. He's going to be doing a stunt by driving the truck underneath the box here. So he's helping me.
Let's do it.
All right. When you pull under, kind of stay to the right, to that side a little bit, because that's not in the center. All right, guys, that's about it. I got everything buttoned up. Remember the 6 bolts in the bed. Remember to put anti-seize on there in case they decide to freeze up the next time you want to take them out. Remember the 3 bolts by the gas cap and the hose clamp on the filler neck. It goes down by the frame, the rear end vent, and the electrical. All that's got to be put back. And here is the reason that we can't do without a truck for more than 5 minutes, because it's not even rolled out of the driveway yet to test it, and I've got all this crap in here already. So there you have it. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I come out with videos like this as often as I can. Thanks for watching.